as its sociocultural.
Welcome to Hardtalk Extra. I'm Tom Brook. My guest today lives here in Bandra, a suburb of Mumbai, and home to some of Bollywood's top stars. Her following in India is truly staggering. She has millions and millions of fans, and there are 17,000 websites devoted to her. She has most definitely crossed over to the West. Time magazine has described her as one of Asia's most beautiful women, and one of the most influential people in the world. She has, to all intents and purposes, become the modern face of India. Aishwarya Rai, a very, very warm welcome to Hardtalk Extra.
Thank you so much.
I get the impression, being in India, that things are really changing in the country. It seems to be really moving ahead, particularly with a lot of culture, movies, music, and so on. Is that the view that you have of India, that there is change afoot?
I look at growth as a constant, and change is a way of life. I mean, that really, but I guess from your perspective, when you say it is really moving fast at this point in time, that's probably your observation because you draw comparisons to a larger span of time. But for me, this is the way it has been. This is my approach to life, my outlook, and I'm glad it all means positive.
You, though, in a way, represent something quite modern, I think, to people in the West about India. Are you aware of that?
Well, to me, from what I get to hear first person, I'm quite a paradox because on one level, there is the apparent modern because I guess I belong to today, to current times. And then again, the core is so Indian. I'm so rooted in terms of our culture, our value system, our beliefs, our way of family life is something that I completely relate to. It's been me, it's been my upbringing. So I guess I'm really a combination of India as India is in its true essential element, and at the same time very much a global personality or a global individual, somebody who is a part of the times where the world is so much smaller, and you see the barriers just collapse, and there's such a lot of exchange on every level. I guess it's with a lot of interaction in all walks of life that it does become so much a part of you that you needn't necessarily get compartmentalized into coming from a specific region.
But I know that you are very, very attached, as you've been saying, to your Indian roots. In that respect, because you travel such a lot, you have a high profile away from India, do you feel that you're an ambassador for India? Because that's what one recent article I read said.
Well, a couple of articles for a while now. I think that's more the way it's come to be, and maybe somewhere even my approach or my output is responsible for it, because it, I think, dates back to when I did become Miss World. For me, it was always more than just being a beauty queen. That's not the way I wanted to make that title matter in my life. I really needed that to be me representing us as a people, as a nation, as a culture internationally. And it automatically started happening in all my travels. I did realize that when people would interact with me, it would invariably be more about asking me about my people, about India as today is. Like I've said in so many interviews, this constant wondering aloud of whether they've actually gotten educated in India, and that really threw me. I was like, oh my God, people have such a different view and outlook of my country, which partially, not completely, but partially, yeah, they did actually believe that I could possibly have been raised outside of India or educated outside of India, and that was something that probably made me more determined to change that.
Do you think in a way that's why people in the West like your image so much? It's not just because you're a beautiful woman, because you convey something else.
I'm not questioning it. Because it isn't a cultivated image. This is just me. So I guess people, as they perceive you, they do always draw opinions, which could be great, or which could be, well, sometimes make you wonder as to why people look at me this way if it's not positive. So,
I mentioned earlier that people, in a sense, are commenting that India seems to be moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's really because they're waking up to the reality, or is it because India is actually being more vibrant in exporting aspects of its culture?
A lot of both. I mean, like I said, I would like to believe growth is constant, change is constant, and it's not specific to a people or a culture. I think that is the way of life world over. But yes, it definitely does feel great that at this point in time, and probably because I am part of now, I am first person experiencing India awareness or Indian awareness that is happening all around the world, and I'm glad to be part of that time. I'm glad to be able to happily contribute to it in whichever manner I can, and it does only fan my pride in my country and my culture, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing that the world is definitely a lot more open, a lot more curious. Thanks to all of you. I mean, really, media is connecting and opening doors to people worldwide, and I'm glad that there is such a lot of India talk, India awareness, and India is earning it too, and absolutely in every arena. So it's all good.
Why do you think it is, though, that you've been able to cross over and straddle both India and the West? Because it's quite difficult in many ways, isn't it? And you're quite unique in that sense.
As to why, I don't know. You would analyze and find out as to why me. Like I said, on my part, I'm happy to be a part of that time. I'm happy to be a part of being able to contribute, catalyze the awareness, the movement, the exchange, and individually, even for myself, as a professional, I'm happy to expand my own experiences, enhance my own growth as a professional, as an actor, and to have varied experiences. Like I've constantly said in my interviews, that even within India, I, right from the beginning, tried my best not to limit myself just to the Hindi film fraternity. I did work in Tamil films, I did work in a Bengali film, and so I really am happy to be able to grow as an actor and be a part of cinema, language no barrier, you know, and even in terms of when I did first do my first English film, which was Bride and Prejudice, there was this whole, so you want to go to Hollywood? And I kept saying, it's not about Hollywood. It's not about going to one particular area. It's just really enhancing and increasing my experience as an actor, and hopefully be able to work globally, wherever work takes you. So I don't limit my vision or my view to, is this all about Hollywood? It's really about being able to be a part of a bigger movement.
In a way, do you like the fact that India is basically unique in the world, that it has its own self-sustaining film industry that really Hollywood can't do anything about? Hollywood only has 5% of the market in this country, and that's extraordinarily low.
Because people are very, very proud, very, very happy, and absolutely relate to what the Indian film industry delivers. That is something that Indians as a people world over absolutely connect with, because it has been such an integral part of our socio-cultural life. I mean, in terms, and it's our biggest entertainment faculty, really. I mean, in terms of, it's almost lifestyle, it's almost a part of our culture. Being musicals, our movies, the songs are something that all of us have grown up with. It gets, it becomes a part of lifestyle in terms of our festivities, in terms of our weddings. So there is this, it is very much a part of people's lives here.